Just prior to everyone's arrival, we can tell you that 22-year-old Ruben Xavier Rocha did turn himself in to the Glendale Police Department. He will be facing charges of murder, burglary, and aggravated assault. We still wanted to offer you all the opportunity to speak to this family because it is important that you understand who Jordan Castillo is. She is someone's daughter, she's someone's sister, she is someone's aunt, and she's someone's mother. So we have some members of the family that are going to be speaking, and we have Elijah Castillo, he's her brother, and Mercedes Castillo, the aunt, and Brianna Soto, who's a cousin. So we're going to have them come up and speak a little bit about Jordan. Once that they are done, I'm going to be taking them back upstairs, and Sergeant Randy Stewart will speak to you about the case and answer any questions from there.
Me and my family stand here before you guys to bring justice in regards of my poor baby sister, Jordan Miranda Castillo. That is her name, Jordan Miranda Castillo. She was one of the strongest women I ever knew. Super independent, did everything for everyone without ever asking for anything in return. She was taken from us yesterday, 20 years old. So tiny and innocent. She leaves behind a baby girl. His monster took her from us. In the case of domestic violence, I just want to say, just hug your loved ones. Don't ever leave without saying goodbye. Don't fight for no reason. She was so strong. She was so independent. Like I said, she did everything for everyone without ever asking for anything in return. I just hope in the end she didn't suffer and she was brave. I don't get to see my sister anymore because of this. I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to say anything. Please, just hug your loved ones. Don't fight for no reason. Because of this, a daughter has to go on with the rest of her life without a mother. A mother has to bury her child. A family doesn't get to see their little cousin, sister, niece, etc. Jordan, fly high. Please look after us. You will live through your baby girl and we will take care of her. We will treat her like our own. I just want to say once again, just love your loved ones. You never know when it's going to be the last day. We just saw her a day before. Fly high, Jordan.
This is Mercedes Castillo. She's her aunt.
Whoa, this is gonna be really hard. Jordan was an amazing young lady who had a whole life ahead of her. Not only that, she was an amazing, amazing mother who went above and beyond to protect Malia, even at the last moment of her life. She still went to protect her. She was an amazing person, and I know people might say that a lot about people out there, they leave them, but she really was. She was sweet, she was caring, She was friends with everyone. I'm just so sorry, sister, that you have to go through this. But I just want to thank everybody who helped and reached out to our family, who helped bring justice not only for Jordan, but her friends that were there involved, who were fighting to protect her. Our family, our hearts and our prayers are out to their family, because I'm sure they know exactly what we're feeling. So again, I just want to thank everyone for their time, for helping us bring justice. Jordan, we'll never forget about you, baby girl. We love you so much. Malia's never gonna forget who you are, I promise you. She will always remember the best and only the best of you. Just watch over us. Watch over your mom, your baby. And I promise we're gonna bring justice for you, Mama. We're gonna make sure that this monster pays for what he did to you. He's gonna pay.
This is Brianna Soto. She's a cousin.
I had to write something to help me out here. Jordan was small, but she was mighty. She blossomed into such a beautiful woman, an independent one. And she never let anyone down, and she always aimed for the best, especially when it came to her baby girl. She was an incredible mom. She had so many amazing qualities about her, but they magnified when she became a mom. And I just want Jordan, you to know that we love you, we're gonna miss you, and we promise that your baby girl will never forget how incredible you are and will always be.
As you can see, this is a very difficult situation for this family. We are going to take them out back upstairs. Sergeant Randy Stewart will answer any questions. They're not taking questions.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay.
I was just wondering if they can offer any Spanish statements por Univision or Telemundo. Algo en español que quieran decir para ayudarnos.
I don't think any of them are comfortable. Yeah.
We just need the spelling of the name and any photos.
We will be giving you all of that. Yes, we have photographs that we'll be releasing. We will have the proper spelling of everybody's name, and we're releasing a 911 call as well. So I'm going to bring the family, and Sergeant Randy Stewart will come up and answer any questions about the investigation.
All right, I know some of the information was sent out yesterday, but it was limited at the time. Obviously, at the time, 3 people were transported to the hospital, but we also had next of kin's notification and so forth to make before we made any type of announcements. So I'm going to go through with tell you what happened and some of the background information about this case, and of course we'll open it up for questions. In addition, we will be sending out a brief message of what happened, some of the names, spelling, and also the family did send us some pictures of Miranda. And just to let you know, she goes by Miranda is what the family tells me, which is her middle name. We'll be sending out some pictures of her that the family sent to us to share, and then also a picture of the suspect and the 911 that we spoke about. So this incident happened just after 2:30 p.m. yesterday, near the intersection of 51st Avenue and Northern at an apartment complex. The incident involved several people, including Miranda. She was at her home at the apartment complex with 2 other friends, which are the other 2 friends that were also shot in this case. She was also there with another female friend and a male friend and her 2-year-old daughter. So I'll kind of go through it again with that. So just after 2:30, we responded. We located 3 victims inside the home. The 3 victims were transported to a local hospital. And unfortunately, Miranda died at the hospital, where she was pronounced deceased at the hospital later after she was transported.
Was this a home or an apartment?
This is an apartment complex.
So this is their apartment?
Yes.
All right.
I could tell you that obviously Miranda, which we talked about, 20-year-old. There was also a 19-year-old female victim who is right now in critical but stable condition. And then a 20-year-old female victim, which is in stable condition. The suspect, which we mentioned, Ruben Rocha, is 22 years old.
Can you just spell his name for us?
Yeah, it's Rueben, Xavier, Xavier, and Rocha, Rocha.
How old?
22 years old. There's a little bit of history, so I'll kind of go back and forth a little bit. But the day of the event itself, there was some type of social media disturbance between them that kind of tipped things off. Ruben ended up going to the apartment, in which Miranda does have an order of protection on him. So he violated the order by going to the apartment. The apartment is on a 3rd floor. And when she went up to the apartment, he went up the stairs, jumped from the stairs over to a balcony which faces forward of the apartment. Inside the apartment, as I mentioned, was Miranda, her 2 friends that were later shot, another female friend, her 2-year-old daughter, and another male. Ruben, when he went to the balcony, he started kicking in the glass, which is a regular door, but it has a wooden frame. So when he kicked in the glass, he couldn't actually enter the apartment because it was still locked with the frame in the way. When that happened, the male went to the back of the apartment. One of the females took the 2-year-old daughter to a bathroom, and the other 3 females were still in the main living room area of the apartment. Miranda called 911. She expressed over that she had an order of protection, but within a few seconds, Ruben pulled out a gun and started shooting into the apartment. He shot multiple rounds. Again, that's still under investigation to figure out exactly how many rounds, but I could tell you it was several. And again, struck Miranda and her 2 friends, the 19-year-old and the 20-year-old.
A male was shot as well, right?
No, the male ran into the back of the apartment.
With the baby.
No, the male ran into the back of the apartment. There was another female there that took the baby into the bathroom.
Can I just ask, I know we'll go back. Relationship between Miranda and Ruben, is this the father of the child?
Yes.
Okay, and so they had an ongoing relationship, past relationship, dissolved relationship,
Yeah,
order of protection, and this was the father of the child.
Yes, and I'll get into that, basically what you've said, but yes, Miranda and Ruben do have a relationship. The 2-year-old child is in common. There is some past history of domestic violence. There's nothing that we located here at Glendale that's been reported to us, but I know our investigators are still looking into other jurisdictions and so forth to see the history behind this. Back in April, Miranda did get an order of protection, which he was served with. And at that point, I think they were kind of on and off as far as living at that apartment, but at that point, Ruben was no longer living there. And Miranda stayed there with the 2-year-old. And kind of going back to what happened, Ruben fled the scene before police arrival. And then obviously the officers went there, tended to the victims, and then started the crime scene process after that. Investigations was called out. We were getting ready to put this press release actually to try to find Ruben, but while we were actually here with the family discussing this, Ruben showed up and turned himself in.
I guess what, 2 o'clock, 1:30? Something like that,
About an hour ago, about 1:30.
Just to clarify once again, who got shot? Jordan, obviously, or Jordan. And then you mentioned a 20-year-old female was also shot, and then somebody else, a 3rd person.
So a 20-year-old female and a 19-year-old female.
We had video of someone in handcuffs yesterday, so that
Right. I've heard something about it. I'm not sure exactly what that was about, but that was not the suspect.
Okay, so he took off and you guys have been looking for him since until he just turned himself in.
Right, exactly.
And you mentioned something on his social media. Was there something that we can discuss specifically that prompted his outrage, anger to show up with the gun at the apartment, or anything that sparked it, or a fight, or anything?
I don't know all the details but I know there was some type of social media drama that somehow sparked this. There's
Led to him coming to the apartment.
yes. And obviously there was a history behind that. This is something that sparked it off.
This has been going on. They've been on and off domestic issues with them for quite a while.
I know it's a while. I don't know how long, but obviously it's been a little while. And speaking with the family a little bit, they said that this has been going on for some time.
You said there was an order of protection that she had filed in April. Was that for her and the baby, or just for her, or was he still seeing the baby?
I don't know if it was for both of them or just her. I'm not sure. You guys have any questions?
I guess from your vantage point, again, there's incidents of domestic violence we see all the time. Just another sad example of how these can turn violent and deadly, right?
Yeah, and usually domestic violence, they don't just start with a major incident, right? It's usually a smaller incident, and it increases. There's a lot of ways for people to get help. And one thing I always suggest, if somebody doesn't want to go to the police about that, we do have victim advocates that they can go to without going to the police. Any of the major cities have those abilities to go to a victim advocate, and they can help them work through those domestic violence issues. And that's probably the best thing if you don't want to go to the police. Obviously, for us to draw that history to try to intervene, we do need that be reported to us for us to be able to take the report, investigate it, and then possibly charge it if the person's been, there's probable cause that the person committed that crime.
And you've been doing this a long time. I mean, for you to see a case like this, you've got a young 20-year-old young mom killed like this, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, even, listening to the family, right? It's heartbreaking. Yeah, I've seen a lot of cases, but to have this type of violence, it's pretty rare, and it's really unfortunate that it ended this way.
You said the other two are expected to survive critical.
Right, critical but stable was the 19-year-old, and the 20-year-old is in stable condition.
Did the other, I don't know if you've been able to speak to the other victims in the hospital, or whatever, do we know what led him to start shooting into the living room? Was there an argument, yelling, or anything?
No, it was very short. She got on the phone, started calling 911. I don't think anybody else even said anything, and then he started shooting within a few seconds. And again, the 911 is graphic because you will hear speaking and you'll hear the shots fired. So just be warned on that.
Was he shooting through the glass window into the
Yeah, he was still on the balcony, so he was able to break the glass but not get into the room, and shot from the balcony.
What's her last name again?
Jordan Castile?
Castilla.
Yes.
You said she goes by Miranda?
Yes.
Does the suspect have any prior arrests?
Not that we're aware of.
Any idea how many of those domestic violence previous situations were reported, whether that was to PD, like a victim, survivor, whatever they are?
In this case, you're
Yeah.
saying? There's nothing that our detectives have seen so far that was reported to us, so they're still in the process of looking through where else that might have been reported, and we just
But
don't
there
know
were
yet.
situations, they just didn't go through PD.
I don't know. We don't know yet.
Is there anything else you need from the public then? I assume you guys have all your...
Yeah, the suspect obviously turned himself in. So initially, this press conference was to actually help try to locate the suspect, but he did turn himself in. So at this time, it's really just giving the detectives a lot of time to work on this, and it will take, months for them to go through everything involving this case and try to bring everything to light in the case, and obviously, eventually down the road to prosecution.
Does the suspect say why he turned himself in?
No. I shouldn't say no. I don't know. I'm sorry. This all happened right before, and I haven't had a chance to really talk about it, so. All right, that's it. Anything? And I did give my name, so it's just if you need it, Sergeant Randy Stewart, RANDYSTEWART. All right, thank you.